Okay, I'm going to admit Jeff and Megan now. And then the chair, you can, I believe we're all set live on YouTube.
All set?
And so the chair can call the meeting to order.
Yep, I am calling the February 24th, 2021 meeting of the Fairport Industrial Development Agency. And we'll do a attendance. We're joined by Rob Gentner, Donna Stepp here. Well, not really, but I'm away.
Wait. I do this every time.
Uh-oh. You good, Mark?
Hold on, guys. I've got an issue with the audio. I'm sorry. I know I've got an echo, folks. I'm sorry.
We have to turn off sound.
No, I do.
Okay.
Is it because you're too close? Because you and Ed are in the same room, or you and Lily are in the same room?
No.
Okay.
All right, well, I'm going to ask for any public comment that we have while we're dealing with technical issues. And not seeing or hearing anyone, I'll close our public comments period and ask for approval of the January 19th, 2021 meeting minutes from the IDA.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments, corrections, or discussion regarding those minutes? All in favor? Aye.
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 Aye, I was on mute, sorry.
We read your lips, Donna. So are you good to go, Martha?
Almost there. Almost there. The door is locked downstairs. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So the next item, we'll welcome Megan and Jeff to give us an update on Tompkins financials. So turn it over to you guys.
How are the two of you? Welcome. Happy 2021. We made it through 2020.
Yes.
Yep.
Last time we met, of course, we were in person. So hopefully the next time we meet, we'll be in person as well. Thank you for allowing Jeff and I to join you today for the investment piece, review the investments. We normally go through 2 reports. Nothing too exciting because of the investments that we're in, but we've got the report for 2020. And then we've also just want to clarify and confirm any cash flow, any upcoming cash flow needs, just to give us an idea. So before we get started, any questions on your end or?
Megan, we've in the board package, they have the complete monthly statement as of January 31. And I can also throw up the maturity schedule on share screen if that comes into play here.
Okay, and you'll see too, I sent you a 2020. So I just sent, because I realized I didn't know if I was going to have sharing capabilities on this meeting. So I did send you a 2020 report. So it shows January through year end December. So if we want to go through that, and then it puts up their different time periods. So it does show, you know, performance and whatnot. So
can I let you share the screen here?
Sure.
Here, there you go.
Yep, and Jeff, I'll go through this, and then if you just want to chime in and assist, let's see.
Did it work?
It did, and now I just got to make sure I pick the right.
Okay.
I try to close all the other screens so I don't start sharing stuff I shouldn't. All right, here we go. So this just shows for different time periods. Let's see if I could scroll up here. So this, of course, just takes the 2020 time period and takes a look at the portfolio that we've got invested. And if we go through for 2020, we could see last January, we started at the 1.374 million. We had distributions or outflows of 220,000, income and gross earnings of 32,000 and 36,000 respectively, and then the quarterly fees of 6,400. So the portfolio ended the year at the 1.216 million. Portfolio net of portfolio return, net of any fees or expenses, was the 4.49%. And then it just carries it over the different time periods. So this is the fourth quarter. The year to date is the 1 year. So the year to date and latest year are the same. And then of course the rolling 3 years. And again, it shows a return of 3.27 versus the total weighted benchmark of 3.42. And then it goes back to the since inception. So we started at the end of October 2008. It shows where we started, the money that we've sent out over the years, income and gross earnings, and then again, the collective quarterly advisory fees. So it just gives a bit of history for the account. And then the next one, this one, of course, it's all fixed income. And this is as of the end of December. So the cash position's a little bit less because we had a position mature that we sent out with that excess cash. And then the next page just gives a breakdown on the different municipals. Now, one thing I noticed on this report that'll get corrected, it just needs to get processed overnight, is they're all municipals and treasuries. So that's going to go from saying taxable bonds to government bonds. It'll reflect treasuries. So the next report is the one that is a helpful visual for being able to see the fixed income to maturity. So let me pull up that report. And I apologize. This is where we need the interlude. All right, here we go. Let's see. Click the button. So then this one gives a nice visual. And this one I didn't want to do this as of the end of the year. I wanted to show current. So you had a good idea of what was in the portfolio and when it was going to be maturing. So this one gives a good idea of some upcoming maturities in the next couple of months. Shows the next bucket for the next 1 to 3 years, and then the longer, 3 to 5, 5 to 7. The only thing that this report doesn't reflect is the cash position, which at the moment is small. Cash position's around 6,000 just to cover the quarterly advisory fees. So on this one, Jeff, I'll tag team you if you have any thoughts or any information you want to share relative to the portfolio.
Yeah, the only comment that I would make is one of where it's good to have maturities out a little bit longer on the horizon, simply because as things mature, the reinvestment risk right now is high because rates, even though they have started to tick up, are still low. So when we're maturing, 5%, 4.5% coupons, even mid twos, you've got a 10-year treasury right now that's paying 1.38. Pickings are meager on the reinvestment. So, the good news here is that there's not much that's going to be running off this year, and so hopefully we'll continue to make some more money. But just as a mention down the road, as we look at this over the next, 2022, we've got 3 coming off. It's just, keep an eye down the road. Maybe interest rates will move up enough that, they'll sort of compromise that risk, but glad right now that we don't have too much rolling off, because you don't want to have to take money that was at some pretty good rates and have to reinvest it what's available now, because it's not pretty.
Megan has been helpful to me as some of these items have matured over the last year or so. And we actually talked about, we have taken distributions and invested them in, short-term CDs at the bank. In particular, one of the biggest things we took out of there, we have a $350,000 bill due to this village of Fairport, April 1st. And so we worked, with maturities, and those are all now sitting in a CD and ready to go. That's maturing 3/31. So I appreciate Megan's help over the past year or so in being honest and making recommendations about where to put our money. So on the short term, we have, I've kind of laddered the CDs, so we don't have any big outlays coming up that we can't cover with our current cash balances. So, what would you think about with those? Well, we've got one March 1st and April 30. I mean, we'll talk, Megan, and see what's available at that time and make a decision.
Yes. Yep. And Jeff, in general, would you say if that cash isn't needed, we would be looking at the short-term end of the equation? We'd be looking at short-term, correct?
Well, in a perfect world, short, when we're talking, when you say short, are we talking three months, 6 months? That kind of short?
What I consider short-term, stuff up to 90 days.
Yeah, just keep in mind whether it's treasuries or even CDs. When I tell you what they're paying, you're going to think I'm nuts, but they're, a 3 and a 6 month treasury are paying 3 to 5 basis points. That's 0.03% or 0.05, and CDs, not much. That real ultra short cash equivalent end of the yield curve is it's almost like the saying, bury it in your backyard because you're going to make just about as much. So again, interest rates have ticked up a little bit, but on a relative scale, they're still low. So it really is, we'll take a look, at the time that these things are going to mature, we'll go and we'll look and see what the best option is. But my expectation is even if things inch up, it's still not going to be great relative to what we're looking at on this page.
I do see, I'm sorry.
No, and it's going to be like that for, some time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I'm looking out at the maturities and then, April of 22, and then there's a whole year before April of 23 before the next maturity. So maybe we could look at late 22, right? Maybe when.
Sure. The longer that we are able to lay it out, the better it's going to be as far as coupon that we can look for.
And when I was mentioning short term, in my head, I was thinking a year. So short term to me didn't mean 30 to 60 days. So so that might work out, but we'll do the same that we've done before. I'll reach out to you after every maturity and we'll balance it out. What's worked in the recent past has been the bank. You know, it's been transferring the proceeds. So we'll continue to do the same. Do you have any large outflow cash flow needs in the next year or two that you know of? The last spreadsheet that I had was from last year, 2019.
I do have that 350 that's due April 1st, but I've got that covered. All of the other items are well covered with our current bank balances and CDs.
Excellent. Okay.
Well, unless
Well,
we have a planning meeting in April. So if things come out of that, there may be other items that come up that we have to fund. So.
Okay. Well, on our end, that's helpful. You know, it's helpful in the sense that we won't have to break any of the 2022 positions. Anything that's currently invested, we won't have to break into. So that part, that's good.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, this meeting will be more exciting someday when the numbers are better, but you know, relative to the environment, it's, you know, it's good to see. But any questions or information that you'd like to see?
Board members?
Yeah,
Anybody have?
Quick question from my end. Jeff, you mentioned a minute ago in regards to the rates, you mentioned that you anticipate them being this way for some time. If you can color that in and all with your best guess, with your expertise in regards to what that time frame may be.
My crystal ball is probably not an awful lot clearer than yours. I would think that it's not out of the question that we could have rates go up 0.5% over the remainder of 2021. You know, we could be approaching a 10-year treasury of, you know, 1.8 to 2% by the end of the year. That's why I say that they're ticking higher, but on a relative scale, that's still low. Right. But relative to where we've been, you know, that is a significant move. Keeping in mind that a year ago, you know, what a difference 12 months makes. The beginning of 2020, the 10-year treasury was at about 1.9. It went down as low as 55 or 60 basis points, and then ticked up to almost 1 at the 90, I think it was 93 or 94 at the end of 2020, and now it's up to 138. So it's gone up almost 40% just in 2 months. As the economy opens up, as we return to somewhat normalcy, as money continues to flow and pent-up demand moves out, does it, you know, we could see inflation and interest rates tick and continue to. Yeah, I would not be surprised to see it up in the high ones. If it clicks to 2, yeah, quite possible.
Rob, this is Ken. I keep my eye on this through the Arc of Monroe County and the town of Brighton and the county of Monroe, and I think Jeff's exactly right. This is not going to change all that much on a percentage basis, maybe yes, but in terms of real rates, you know, I'm looking at that report Megan showed us, and I'm thinking, you know, that's not too bad. Not in today's market anyways, in terms of our returns. So it's just a really tough time. And my understanding is it's not going to turn around significantly in the short term anyways.
So see, the dilemma, what we have been seeing is the price that we have to pay for some of these coupons or yields is at a premium. So when you equate a premium price with the yield. The actual yield to maturity is even worse than what the rates are. Understanding that 3/4 of the world is in negative interest or real interest rate territory, even talking about positive rates, real rates is a winning play, but it's just it's not good as far as really making any net earnings. I wish we had alternatives, but
Plus the constraints we have in our
well, the
investment
constraints,
policy
yes.
and being authorities. I mean, that's really investing with one arm behind your back, because
Those are clearly
we have so
handcuffs.
little we
Yep,
can do.
that's- But you have no choice. So
Right. Now, the
you
good part
have
on-
regulatory constraints, and so there are no ways around it. It just is a very difficult, and it's going to be some time before we get some, separation where, things start to normalize.
The good part
Appreciate the
about that
context.
is we're following all the constraints. So even though it's one arm behind our back, it's being managed properly. So that's
Yep.
the important part. So.
Okay, anything else from the board for Megan and Jeff? All right. Well, like you said, Megan, we look forward to seeing you guys in person next time around.
Thank you. Yes.
And I think we're all comfortable. We're doing as well as we can under the circumstances, and we're protecting the money at least. So that's a good.
Thank you. Continued good health to you and your families.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Megan and Jeff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Board, I want to note that John Scully of Sharp Notions has joined us as well. You'll see on the agenda that we have an application for sales tax exemptions from Sharp Notions. I'll leave it up to the chair if you wanted to take that now out of order, or.
Yeah, I think we will, just to respect John's time. So welcome, John, and between you and Martha, you can kind of walk us through what we're looking at.
Okay, great. Hi, John. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for joining us. In the board package, John, I had sent to you the project summary and recommendation with regard to this. As I spoke to this a little bit in our prior meeting with the board, that Sharp Notions is currently located at the Box Factory in Fairport, a full service custom web and software applications, primarily in the fintech industry. They've been there since 2008. They've grown to 31 employees, and they are now looking to expand. They have several options available to them. They could continue to do some work from home or hybrid kind of thing. They could look to open satellite offices in other areas closer to their clients, or they could are looking for space here in the village of Fairport. So working together with the county and New York State, we've put together an incentive package in order to help Sharp Notions help the village retain them and help them as they continue to grow. The project summary, excluding the things like the larger payrolls, the training and so forth, that Sharp Notions estimate as an additional $860,000 investment in this project. They're proposing a construction project of about $350,000. And then annually each year for the next 5 years, approximately $20,000 investment in furniture, fixtures, and equipment, representing how they outfit what the expected 10 employees per year that they're projecting to hire. So what we've offered and worked out with John is a sales tax exemption on the construction, as well as those equipment purchases over the next 5 years. This is the IDA portion of the incentive package that we're considering tonight. There is there's another incentive we're going to consider from our LDC at next month's meeting. I do make one correction to my summary, project summary. As you know, whenever we have to consider an application for incentives, we're required to do a benefit to incentive analysis. And I want to correct the one that I have in the board package. It is not 438 to 1, it's 413 to 1. That change was a result of including the LDC piece as well. So again, these are exactly the jobs that we're looking to keep and attract to the village of Fairport. As you know, we've done an economic development study that has identified the professional, scientific, and technical sector as our target market. These jobs are resilient. As John, I'm sure, can tell you, I'm sure they've been busy this entire time. So that's why we get together with our economic development partners. You can see New York State has approved $700,000 in Excelsior tax credits. Monroe County is coming up with some training funds. This is exactly why we're here. This is a perfect project for us to get involved in. The total estimated exemptions on this are $19,000. And then, so I have my project summary, then the John's application, and you'll see the benefit to incentive analysis that we prepare. That's through CGR's software that is the industry standard. And so I'll turn it over to John. And John, if you can tell us a little bit more about Sharp Notions, and then I'm sure the board will have a few questions as well.
Sure. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you for giving me a couple minutes to talk about Sharp Notions. Like Martha said, we've been around for 15 plus years in the box factory for quite some time. We've been looking to expand, and I've been talking with Chris Casa about expanding within the box factory itself. But what we're trying to accomplish and what we're trying to design here at Sharp Notions is that one-stop shop where we have all the software engineers wanting to be there. I'm not sure if people have seen that Mindex had opened up a new headquarters out in the city. We're looking to do something that's better and brighter here in Fairport, specifically in the area at 75 North Main, because of all that's happening right there, the new building or the new renovation at the cannery, all those pieces right there. We want to try and bring all those pieces together, and we're going to bring the fintech space, and the hope is we're going to bring them to their knees, because we've been working with 3 of the top 5 fintech companies out there. If anyone's familiar with fintech or even banks in general, Chime Bank is a infrastructure-free bank that's all online. We've been working with them since they were 30 employees, and now they are a multi-billion-dollar industry, a multi-billion-dollar company, where we still actually have people there that are still working on their product. We're in the process of building out 2 products ourselves that we hope to have one launched by the time that we're actually launching or we're into the new space. That is actually a benefit for companies to offer their employees. So we have a lot of plans all along the software realm, specifically in fintech, insurtech, and regtech. So Martha's done a great job explaining other things about us. I'm just going to let you guys just ask me whatever questions you may have, because it's probably going to be easier that way than me trying to guess what questions you have.
Jen, would you tell them a little bit about the type of employees you have and the pay scales and all that?
Sure. So we have mainly software engineers, and they roam from anywhere from intern co-op that we're getting from RIT or St. John Fisher and so on, to high quality software engineers that we're paying somewhere between $125 and $150 for. Our average employee makes around $85,000 a year, I think is where we're at this point. Our benefits are some of the top benefits in the county right now when it comes to employees, which is why we have a better chance of retaining our employees. It's why we're expecting a growth of 10 employees per year for at least the next 5 years, as long as we're continuing to gain the business, that we have been gaining. The hope is that we're also going to start bringing on some more administrative staff. We are going to need cleaning personnel for our office space. Previously, Chris Casa had done all the cleaning for us. I now have to hire, hopefully, another Fairport company to come in and start cleaning the office space. We're going to range from administrative to software engineers to quality engineers to project managers, project coordinators, and so on. Does that give you what you're looking for, Martha?
That's great. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
John, is there a kind of an average age group there?
Sure. I'm an old man when it comes to my employees, which I never thought I was ever going to say. But our average age is right around 28 to 30. We're 28 to 32 is where our average age is. And in fact, I will say that 5 of our employees moved to Fairport because we're in Fairport.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's terrific.
So,
John, this is Ken Rohr. Question is, could you tell us who some of your major clients are?
sure. So a lot of our clients are out of San Francisco, Chime, Tally, Ernest, a company called 6Up. Those are just a couple out of there. In Texas, we have Bestow. In Atlanta, we have a company, Green Sky. Green Sky is the people that actually back all the money for all the Home Depot credit cards and Home Depot loans when you get a deck. We have an organization over in England that we're working with called Habitual that is currently working on a healthcare type, diabetes kind of app. And they're actually introducing us to even more organizations over there in England. So those are just a spattering of some of the clients that we have, but we also have a lot of clients here in the Rochester area, a lot of the wineries along the Finger Lakes we have as clients. So somehow money and wine kind of went together quite well. So I don't know how that happens, but it just does. So, I mean, RIT is another one of our major clients. So we're one of the number 2. There's only 2 vendors at RIT that they go to for work, and we're one of those 2 vendors. So we're a preferred vendor with them. We actually do the Brick City website. We're about to do the President's Ball website, their new OTIEC, which is one of their extended, their training programs. We've actually redone their website for them. And we have a couple other things in the pipeline. We actually won a grant with them that was to start in 2020. Unfortunately, due to issues, that grant got put on the back burner. But we are a preferred vendor, and we're deep in it with RIT.
Does
that help, Ken?
Yes, very much. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
John, what's your timeline for build out and everything?
So I would like it done yesterday, because in theory, yesterday I finished moving out of the main portion of where we were on inside the box factory to a smaller office. I have everything just stored over there as we're determining what the next steps are. But if everything goes well, the June, July timeframe is when it's supposed to be built out. But one of the factors that I'm working with Matt Lester and with DDS on is the outside has to look as good as the inside does. I am not moving into a building if the outside does not look as good as the inside is going to look. So that's one of the things that we've been negotiating and having conversation around, is to ensure that the building looks as pristine on the outside as I want it to look on the inside. So the hope is that not only will my space be done by July, but the outside will be done by July as well.
Excellent. Rob?
John, appreciate your time. I'm curious. I know I have a number of reasons why this would make sense for you. What, from your perspective, what's your interest in expanding within the village of Fairport instead of expanding somewhere outside of Fairport?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we've actually kind of went through a lot of pros and cons. There are a ton of pros for us to create satellite offices. I mean, a lot of our clients have asked us to create satellite offices closer to them so that they have a feel good about us being close. However, the pushback I have is I want us all to stay together. One of the things that we actually tout to our customers is that when you bring us on as a client, even if there's only 2 developers that are working on something for you, it's not just 2. It's the entire office. The entire office pushes behind. So I want a space where the entire office comes together. We have been in Fairport. We love Fairport. We looked at properties in the city itself, but I'm not looking for the city. I'm looking for that feel that we have and that we've had, right by the canal in Fairport. And as I was looking at some of that, I said, okay, well, what else is going on? And so I started making some calls, and that's where, I talked to Matt Lester over at 75, and he said, this is what we're doing here, and it's going to match what we're doing over next door. And that's that feel. That's the feel I want. I want, suburban America, but with that hip feel, because I talked to some people out in New York City, and when I talk to them in New York City, they say, Fairport's where I want to be. So if people are coming from larger cities and they're looking for that town, that village feel, and we can be in that village, then they're going to be looking for us too. And so, and it won't just be individuals that are coming from outside, it'll also be the organizations as they're thinking about us as well. So those are just some of the reasons, and they're just, you know, the tip of the iceberg. I could probably go on for a half an hour and make everyone smile and feel good about the Village of Fairport, because that's how we feel about it. So.
Cool.
And I imagine it would attract your employees as well. It's an attractive location for them.
Yep.
Specifically,
So we
that
actually did
demographic.
It's a great point. So we did a survey, and everyone wanted to stay out this way. So there was 2 employees that wanted to move into the city. Everyone else wanted to stay in Fairport, the Fairport area, plus or minus 10 miles. So
Excellent.
it's all about employee retention and getting more employees. So.
Good. Leslie.
You're muted. There you go.
Yep. I'm just wondering, of your employee base, how many of you guys actually currently live in the village or on the east side?
So unfortunately, I live in Irondequoit, but
It is
we only have.
unfortunate.
It is. It's. My wife would tell me that I live in Fairport because I'm at the office more than I am at home. So I'm not sure where I'm gonna have to start paying taxes soon. In any case, but most of our, let's see, we had 5 employees move to Fairport, and I think 60% of our employees live east of the river. The other ones live in Henrietta. Irondequoit, we have a Greece resident. We just hired somebody that's going to be coming in from Scottsville. So a majority of our people live on the east side, specifically right in that Fairport area.
Got it.
Donna?
All the good questions have been asked already. I guess I do have a question. I guess it's related to the timeline. Have you gone through the mapping out of what those internal, that internal layout and construction is going to be?
So I've gone through many renditions. So yes, so DDS has an architecture firm that they have spun up over the past couple of years. I've been working with their architects on renditions of what it's going to look like. So once we sign on the dotted line, I'd be happy to even share those renditions with you. Of course, at the same point, things may change because, you know, I'm going to be a kid in the candy store, and once we have one nice thing, I want 10 nice things. So it may get better, but it's definitely not going to get any worse. It's going to look really, really nice. I'm very excited. We're looking at possibly putting a mezzanine in that will allow many of the employees to sit up in the mezzanine, overlooking everything, and just being able to get to work using their laptops on a couch. We'll probably have like a gaming room like you would see normally in Silicon Valley and so on.
How many square feet are you thinking? Is it 10 plus the mezzanine?
So the footprint is somewhere between 8,500 and 10,000 square feet. We're still working out where we're going to go to. Are we going to go to one of the beams, or are we going to drop before one of the beams? And then the mezzanine would then be an additional anywhere between 3,500 square feet and 5,500 square feet. So we're going to be somewhere in the 12 to 15,000 square feet. So it'll help us support. It'll help support my hope is 80 individuals within the next 5 years.
Awesome.
Cool. The benefit ratio is well within our range, even for our new range that we're going to be discussing. And I can tell you, I think that you're good. You've proven to be a good asset to the Village of Fairport to this point. And I think that an expansion like this, and for you're retaining employees, but so are we, and that's important to us. And you pointed out a couple of those things that make Fairport desirable. And Martha also mentioned that the attraction in our economic development studies show that you are the sector and probably the age group that we are looking at for the sustainability of Fairport. So I think it's a great project for you, and I think it's a good project for our IDA to invest in and get involved in. So I'll let the other board members speak, but I totally support the project and going ahead with a sales tax exemption.
Kevin, it's Ken. I support it as well. I think it's a great fit.
Do we want to make a formal motion?
I think that we probably have enough support that someone can do that. Anyone care to make that motion?
I
Board
would
members?
make a motion to approve the application for sales tax exemption.
I'll second Ken's motion.
Okay. Any further discussion regarding that motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That sounds unanimous. And John, you have the IDA sales tax exemption. Congratulations. And we certainly look forward to your project going ahead and being a big success, and as well as the growth of your company.
Thank you very much. And once we actually can, once we're open and we are able to have people in the office safely, we're going to have what, one might call the grand opening or what have you. And hopefully I can get everyone to come by and check it out.
We would appreciate that, and we'll be there.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
John,
Yeah.
I'll be in touch.
All right. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you
everybody.
very-
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay. Back to the agenda for the IDA, and we can move into financial reports, starting with Resolution 2021-02, authorizing payment of the IDA bills. Anyone?
Sorry. Having reviewed them, I move payment of the bills.
I'll second.
Any discussion or questions regarding those IDA bills? All in favor?
Aye.
Cash balance, investment reports, financial statements. We've all had a chance to review those. Anything, Martha, that you would like to call out
Sure.
regarding those?
Yes, thank you. The $300,000 CD that matured on February 8th, I rolled that into a $350,000 CD to mature on March 31. And that is our $350,000 commitment to the village for the North Bank. And the $100,000 CD was rolled through to May of 22. And again, it was like 0.20%. But other than that, as I said before, because we've got this laddered, we've already got the 350 taken care of for the Gateway project. The other ones are well within our control of expenditures. So no cash flow issues at all.
Okay. Board, any questions regarding any of the financial investment reports? Okay. We will move on to old business. There's none on the agenda. Anything to add for IDA old business?
I do not have any.
Okay. All right. Moving to new business. First item is governance committee meeting on March 3rd.
Right, and I apologize, there was an error in that. That's March 1st. And this is just a reminder to the board that there'll be a joint governance committee meeting. We're going to take up issues like the uniform tax exemption policy and the benefit to incentive ratio. We want to take a look at that. And also the URA, we're going to have to look at a lot of our personnel policies. As you recall, we subscribe to HR Works for their assistance with all those things, human resources, and they forward policies to us every year, mandated and otherwise. And so I waded through those, and I've got unfortunately, a fairly long agenda for our governance committee. So it really was just a reminder that we'll be meeting on March 1st with the governance committee.
And who are those attendees again for that?
that would be Ken, Leslie, and Donna, I believe, right?
No, I'll be there.
Oh, Rob,
It's Rob, not Ken.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's right.
Martha, what
Actually,
time?
given your agenda, I'd like to attend.
Sure.
30.
I'm sorry. What?
4:30?
It's at 4:30.
Perfect.
Okay. Planning meeting. We have this on to talk about for all of us. We've talked about it for a while. We've got an economic development study data back, and we're at a point now where we need to do it, and I think it's important to map out both for our finances and for our planning sake and for all those great things that are coming out of the study. So let's try and get something. Martha, you sent something out but then canceled it.
I did for April. I don't
April.
recall that, but we currently have an OSED meeting scheduled for Monday, the 19th in April. We have, are there other? Oh, yes, there it is, right. It's April 7th. Does that still work with people?
Martha, is that 4:30 as well?
Yes.
Or we could do, as a planning meeting, we could do any time really, if the time itself isn't convenient.
Right. So I sent that out, right, as a placeholder and just wanted to get back and see if if that still works for you.
That
April
is a
7th.
good date. That's a good date for me.
Okay.
Is that another Zoom meeting?
It's Zoom, or for those that are comfortable, that's a long way away. That's what, 6 weeks away. So many of us may have been able to access vaccines, or, it depends. Some could meet in person. We could also then Zoom in people that aren't comfortable. It would be, if it's an IDA meeting, yeah. So, yeah. So just TBD on that. I've got the village boardroom reserved.
Yeah, I would really like for us to be able to do that, but if if people aren't comfortable, did you check the boardroom calendar that would work for us?
Yes.
Because even if we're not sitting at our table, if we're just sitting in a large round table and or whichever. I just
You know what,
think that
Kevin? Yeah, I will check that again, and if not, we could do something off-site too. Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah.
So how does that, we can work out the particulars, but just if we can put that date in, is everybody good with that date?
I can do that.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we could kind of have an agenda for that, a nice type.
Yes.
I'm sorry, it feels like it's been so long since our last planning meeting.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't probably, but my mind's playing tricks on me.
No, it has been.
It has been? Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe if we could have a little bit of a go around about the agenda via email. Leading up
Absolutely.
to that.
Yes. Yeah,
great
I've already
idea.
got a flip chart started for it. So
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy, it's
Well,
right.
it's got to be in person then, I guess.
I think that day works for me too. I'm actually starting a new position on Monday.
Oh,
So I'll let everybody know if there is an issue. It may be out of my control in regards to the 7th, but there's enough of a window of time from next Monday till then where I think I'll be able to reserve time.
Good. So yeah, we'll book it, and if we need to tweak it, we either with time or day or whatever, we can do that. So great.
Perfect.
And,
I have on my calendar for the 19th. My calendar announcement says OSED online training. Is there something that's a regular meeting? Does anyone else have online training in there, or am I just losing it? Like, got done.
Mine does not say that.
Okay,
I'm looking.
just a regular meeting.
Yeah, mine says OSED board meeting.
Okay.
So, okay. All right. keep it moving. And then the Sharp Notion sales tax exemption. Well, I guess we could have waited to actually discuss and vote on this at this point in the agenda, but it was, I think everybody was so favorable on it that we just moved ahead and took that. I really look forward to that business and this project. I think it's going to be great.
Yes.
All right. Any other business for the IDA? Anything else, Martha, you want to cover?
I do not have anything. Thank you.
Any board members have anything else for IDA related?
Move to adjourn.
I did want to ask, I can't remember if this falls under IDA, but the Shaheen's building, if we have any update on that.
I did get, they've announced it to their employees now, or their customers. So, but I haven't been in contact with them. We've talked to them a little bit about their sales tax package and so forth. And I haven't been down there yet to see much. I think, I don't know. I can get an update though on the construction and so forth.
Yeah, I saw the dumpsters, so that's a good
Yes.
thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, I saw that.
Nothing's better than a dumpster.
Okay.
All right, so was that a second that you said then to Ken's motion to adjourn, Donna? I thought
Yep,
I
that
heard
was
you
a
say
second.
that. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we can leave this meeting.
Thank you. Let me go ahead and